Now, more than 19 months into the war, a war started by Hamas on the 7th of October, a delegation is here visiting from South Africa, meeting with people from a range of industries, looking at innovation and technology projects, including Israeli desalination plants. But that's not all. So let's find out more from the guests themselves. It's a pleasure to welcome to studio Bafana Modise, national spokesperson for the South African Friends of Israel, and Theo Doyle, leader of the political party, the Patriotic Alliance. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Bafana, this is not your first time in Israel. We've spoken in this very studio before. Theo, this is your first time visiting, so I'm actually going to start with you. What has it been like? You are here in the middle of a very difficult time for the country during a war. What are your takeaways?
Hi, firstly, thank you for having me. I'm very honored and privileged to be on your show. Ever since I landed here the past few days, I'm out of words. The operations of the country, how things are being done here in this country, I don't have any words. Everything is going actually the opposite what the other media houses is portraying. I can see in Israel is being led with capable leadership. Everything is working well. And yeah, thank you for having me today.
It certainly is always nice to see people in the country for the first time. A lot of emotions for many people when they're first visiting this country. And it's so refreshing to hear a South African delegation working on positive projects, innovation, technology. Bafana, tell us more.
So we spoke with the president of the party, Gayton McKenzie, who is currently the Minister of Sports. After he came to the country, he said, Bafana, please, host my leaders. These are councillors, these are provincial leaders. Expose them to what Israeli innovation is as he prepares to take over government. So we did this study tour in a sense that we're going to expose them to water technology, high-tech innovation. South Africa has water issues. As much as we have dams and all of that, there is still a shortage of water in the rural areas, even in the cities. And not only that, we are sitting on a 32% unemployment rate. So we are trying to find ways, solutions in Israel that we can take back home to uplift our people out of poverty. But also, we didn't just come to take. We thought that by bringing the spirit of Nelson Mandela, hopefully the Israelis and the Palestinians could also start considering reconciliation and peace during these difficult times.
It's so interesting you raise, of course, Nelson Mandela. One cannot ignore the current state of relations between South Africa and Israel, and of course, particularly around South Africa's case at The Hague, accusing Israel of genocide when Hamas repeatedly says it will conduct the 7th of October type massacres again and again. It says so on public television, Al Jazeera, and the like, the very definition of genocide. So a huge shock, of course, to hear that from people in this part of the world. Your take, Theo, on the likelihood of this case unfolding, coming to some kind of tangible fruition, your reaction?
You know, thank you for giving me the opportunity. What the ANC, the ruling party currently in South Africa, is portraying to the world, that they are against Israel. They are not speaking on behalf of the 60 million plus citizens of South Africa. They are speaking on behalf of themselves, because South Africa is more than 80% is a Christian nation. Most of the citizens of South Africa is in support of Israel. It doesn't mean that you are friends of Israel, you're an enemy of Palestine, and other way around as well. So I would really like to see how this case play out. But for the past few days that I'm here on the ground, going to different places, I can't see any genocide. That's my personal opinion. What is being portrayed on the mainstream media is totally something different for you to come and witness yourself here in Israel. So I'm not sure when is this case going to finish at the ICJ, but I believe that the end result will still work in Israel's favor, because I don't see any genocide, to be honest. I don't see any genocide. It's people who are just pushing a narrative, you know, and let's see how it unfolds. Pushing
a narrative, of course, that can be hugely damaging. There's no doubt about that. We know, of course, Cyril Ramaphosa, the South African president, was at the White House in recent days meeting with President Donald Trump. Your take on what you saw there, that moment, talking about genocide, a claim there by the US president that South Africa is guilty of genocide when it comes to white farmers specifically. Your takeaways from that meeting?
I mean, firstly, we commend the delegation to actually go and have a meeting with the president of America. What we saw there, we saw South Africans speaking in one voice for the first time after the mess, or rather that what ANC has caused with this ICJ case, Iran alliance, anti-West. All this narrative has been running in our country. For the first time, South Africa was speaking on the issue on genocide. I have to be honest with you, there is no genocide in South Africa. We have a crime problem. It's just that the government in power did not prioritize this issue, and it has pushed the farmers in the Afrikaner community to use the words such as genocide, which I feel it's misrepresentation. You saw the numbers. If there was genocide, you would have had over 100 or 1,000 at the airport, but only 50 people were at the airport. So that part, I believe, it's an issue of crime, which the government must deal with. But apart from that, the GNU, with the GNU in power, we are hoping that the wheels of change will turn and we will start to see more of ANC influence. It's a 40% party, and the GNU, this government, this new government, is the future of South Africa.
When you say GNU, just explaining to our viewers in different parts of the world, the Government of National Unity, of course, but it does bring up, of course, this totally personal and emotional issue, the claim of genocide. As you say, genocide by definition involves intent, and that is why this ICJ case, of course, just one of the many reasons why it is viewed as so ludicrous by people in this part of the world. I want to get back, Theo, to your takeaways from visiting. You have been to different venues, you've been to different initiatives, you've also been to Hostage Square. How did that feel?
So I've taken in quite a lot. What I'm taking home, because we have quite a lot of challenges in South Africa. Just to name a few, number one, the Israel aid. The work that they are doing across Africa is beyond phenomenal. Then it's Innovation Africa as well. They are actually doing the work that the government in those respective countries is supposed to do. And I want to commend them. I want to commend the organizations in Israel, for stepping up and assisting where they can, especially in Africa. And as a representative of the Patriotic Alliance, that's why we're actually here. We are here to seek solutions. What is Israel doing so well that we can take and implement in our country, especially the water plant, the water technology. As Bafana just mentioned, now we have a water issue in South Africa. Now, just because the solution lies with Israel, the ANC feels that, no, we can't take that solution. No, that is nonsense. Israel is at the forefront with regards to innovation, water technology, the agriculture. A lot of innovative stuff is happening here in Israel. And I must commend yourself as a citizen, the country, the government, in spite of the current circumstances. It's still thriving. Things are still happening, You are such a resilient nation. And that is what I want to take away from Israel to South Africa. In spite of what we are facing back home, we must have the resilience, become patriotic in our country, and take up the baton and see what you guys are doing so well. We must just adapt it and maybe implement it at home also. And we can learn from each other. We are friends of Israel, and I believe that Israel is a friend of South Africa.
Bafana, 30 seconds left. Your message that you're going to be taking home when you get back to South Africa following this trip.
South Africans, the time has come. Israel has the solutions. We have the issues. This anti-Israel, these narratives that have been running in the name of our history. We are here with the Patriotic Alliance. They have not seen apartheid. We have been here for the whole week with them. They have not seen the genocide. We need to reclaim back our history. We need to reset our relationship with the Israelis and even the West. South Africa must work again. Let's make South Africa great again. And to the people of Israel, we are not your enemies. South Africa stands with Israel. Thank you.
Bafana Modise, national spokesperson for the South African Friends of Israel organization, and Theo Doyle, leader of the Patriotic Alliance in South Africa. We so appreciate you being here in studio. I do hope, Theo, it's your first visit here. You get time to try a shawarma. Thank you so much for being here.